Jonna! Come help me set up the game!
Roll some dice. I'm gonna play some cards. But first I have to find the game. Need help? I'm here to help. Save you. Set up the game.
You alright?
Die Hard.
Oh, Jonna, you're so dramatic. Today, we are reviewing Die Hard, the Nakatomi Heist. Nakatomi Heist board game.
Inspired by the movie.
Yes, this is an IP, an intellectual property.
So this game is an all against one game. So one person is the hero, John McClane, and everybody else are the bad guys. And there's 3 acts to this game that unfold as you play.
Each act, John McClane will have 3 objectives he needs to complete and then get to a certain square to move on to the next act. The thieves will also have 3 objectives which are optional in completing, but if they complete them, it will help them unlock the safe. There is a grid of numbers that the thieves need to cover up using their cards and by completing their objectives to unlock the safe. If they do that, then they will win the game. Or if John McClane runs out of cards to play from his action pile, he will also lose the game and the thieves will win. Each act is played on a different part of the board. So on the one side of the board is Act 1, and then there's Act 2. When you flip it over, there's the 3rd act, which is the big grand finale. So every turn, John McClane will have a hand of cards, so many cards, and then he will pick one of them that has a few actions on them and put it face down. The thieves will also have a deck of cards, and each thief will pick one card to lay down face down. Once everyone's picked their cards, John McClane will flip over his card, take his actions, and then the thief will flip over their cards, sort them out by numerical order. Then the cards on the ends will be used to decode the lock, and the card in the center will be used for actions.
So when John McClane plays these cards to take an action, it's basically movement on the board and then perhaps punching or
shooting.
Retrieving one of his cards back to play.
Yeah.
And John McClane can basically die, or that player will lose if they run out of cards to play. So that's also what's happening. He's constantly losing cards when he's getting shot or punched or kicked or whatever. Oh, there's no kicking. Never mind.
Yeah. And the thieves, if they get punched or shot, they simply die right away and they go off the board. So the thieves are expendable. If you don't have any thieves on the board, the thieves can skip their turn to bring another one on the board.
There's always more.
There's always more.
How do you win?
Well, when the thieves unlock all 7 locks, or when they beat up McClane so much that he ran out of cards to play.
The bad guys win.
And John McClane wins if he completes all the objectives. Especially, and then kills Hans. I think you said that already. One of the objectives of John McClane is to add support. So you can find support by throwing a body out the window onto, what's his name? What's the...
Al.
Al's car.
Patrol car.
Patrol car. And one of the ways you can give us support is by hitting that like button.
Yeah. Or subscribing.
Yeah.
So what did you think this game was going to be like when we first were told about this?
Yes, well, it's from USAopoly, which I may have some hesitations about. want to say about what you were expecting with this game?
Well, I kind of was on the same page as him. A lot of the other games that this company produced were like Monopoly, derivatives. Yeah, and they have a lot of like cartoon-based games. So I was like, is this just gonna be a Monopoly version of Die Hard? I didn't know, but I did know that the board was very unique in the fact that there's 3 different scenarios on the board. So it's got a different setup for each of those. So I really wasn't sure.
My expectations weren't really high. Also, I'm not a huge fan of Die Hard. Like, I've seen the movie, I enjoyed the movie, but I'm not like a super Die Hard fan. But I have to be honest, I was really attracted to the box. In fact, when I first saw the box, I was like, oh, Die Hard, what's this game? And then it took me about 10 seconds to realize, oh, it's Die Hard, the movie Die Hard game. And I think that's partly because the cover does not look like the movie except for the shattered glass and stuff. And I appreciate about about this game, because I think too many IPs do a really bad job, a really lazy job, I should say, with their art and
how they incorporate the artwork from the movie.
You won't find anything that's directly from the movie, I don't think, unless these are kind of...
It looks like they took photography from the movie, like stills from the movie, and they manipulated them in Photoshop and did all sorts of graphic things to them. But it's very cohesive looking. Yeah. They did a really nice job with the graphics and the whole artistic look. It doesn't look like a movie, but it looks like Die Hard. Yeah. Which is cool.
And I think this is, out of the games, this is probably one of the best graphic designs I've seen in a game.
Yeah.
Like ever. The artwork and the graphic design work really well together. Even the cover is really
awesome.
Good looking.
It's really cool. I mean, there's spaces for all your little miniatures here. There's different size card slots, and you can easily get them out. They nailed the details in this. What's your final thoughts on it?
I enjoyed my plays of this game. I am probably done playing it for a while, because we played it several times.
Yeah, we played it 3 times.
Mm-hmm. And
at different counts, at different player counts, which was unique. I felt like each experience was a little different.
And it was best with 3 players.
Yeah.
And it was the worst with 2 players. Though it wasn't terrible, but I wouldn't really suggest 2 players.
I think it makes a big difference because of the thieves that it's a collaborative game in that respect. And when you're playing a collaborative game by yourself,
it doesn't
really work. It's not nearly the amount of fun when you have someone else to play against, or that third person to be your thief with you.
Now, this game is clearly marketed towards people who are into Die Hard. One of those games, I think, that bridges the hobby and mass market a little bit. And I would say that if you're a big fan of Die Hard and you're more of a casual gamer, you probably would really enjoy this, because we played this with someone who really does like Die Hard a lot. John is a big fan of Die Hard too. And really got into role playing and being the characters and having a fun time.
Yeah.
The rules are not that complicated. Like, if you're not in it for the Die Hard IP, I think you could probably pass on this game, because the IP brings a lot of the fun to it. And once you play through once, it's not that the acts don't change, the objectives don't change. They're always going to be the same, because it's based off the movie. So if you enjoy the movie and you want to play the movie, it's perfect for that, because it really is the movie.
Right.
But if you want to buy this because you want an interesting game and you want each game to be
challenging,
different, right? After the first couple plays, you've seen what the game has to offer.
Right. It doesn't get more challenging,
right? Which I'd imagine most gamers would consider that a negative. I think if you're targeting more casual gamers, I don't think that's a negative, because I think if someone's buying this for the IP, the game is interesting enough and you get to play the movie, which is probably why most people who see this will be buying it.
We found it very fun. And I feel like you said the 3-player account was the most fun. We had a lot of like highs and lows. There were times when you and I got stuck as thieves and our friend was able to advance and advance, and then there were times when he got stuck and towards the end it was down to a turn or two.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way. So it was really fun to have a game like that, and we were all kind of excited and yelling.
If you look at your shelves, and let's be honest, most of the games on your shelves you've only played once in the past 2 years, and you really like Die Hard, then you should still check it out, because I think
you'd want to play this once a year, probably around Christmas time.
Yeah, it's a great Christmas game. We don't have any Christmas board games. I think this is the best Christmas board game. Yeah. So the one negative, to sort of say why I think gamers may not enjoy this as much, the Thieves play is very repetitive. You're kind of doing the same thing on every turn, so it's repetitive. I think it's interesting enough for the length of the game. I just think some people would find that boring. Yeah,
and you can have streaks of bad luck. There's a lot of luck in this game, but that's part of board games sometimes, and I still feel like it's fun. There is that collaborative feel where like you're trying to get the right numbers out with your group, so it's fun. So even though you're playing like the bad guys, you still want to win. They achieve that feeling. Yeah. I guess it just depends on your group if that really is gonna bum you out to deal with some bad luck, then it's not gonna go over well. But if you're with people that are just excited to play a Die Hard game, this goes pretty far. I feel like it is what it is. It's a fun Die Hard game. But if you're not into Die Hard, then it's just a game. Yeah, so anyway, that's our review. We hope it's helpful. We hope that you made some sense out of it and can kind of get an idea of whether it's something to pursue or something to pass on. It really depends on the player and your family and friends. So that's our thoughts on it. We hope that you enjoyed it. Hey, thanks for watching our video, and stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah. The next one?
The next one?
What are we doing next?
I don't know. Whatever we're playing next. This is probably really dangerous.